Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the Move podcast, brought to you each and every day by OURA Ring. I'm Lance Armstrong, right here with JB Hager, George Hincapie over there, the small engine, but I'm going to get to that later. We're talking about stage 18. QLN.
Stage 18. Méribel to La Roche-sur-Poron.
Oh, my God.
Funny story about Alain, who came in and did this live yesterday.
Right.
You wouldn't believe all the comments online. Most people thought that was a computer-generated person, like Siri.
Like Siri. You wonder if that maybe that's an option in France. Since you could replace Siri and with just some French dude named Alain.
People were very pleasantly surprised to see that that's a real person.
It's a real person. Yeah. I like that's a good tradition we've started with Alain. You know, and otherwise we'd be screwing up the pronunciation of all these names.
There's no way we can pronounce that.
There's no way. As I said, today's show, like it is each and every day, presented to you by OURA Ring. These guys are absolutely crushing it. The amount of data that people are getting out of. By the way, we got a message from the reader or the listener, that sent us his data the other day, and I busted him on him needing to charge his ring. That was after 6 days. So he was like, "Hey, give a shout out to OURA. The battery life's amazing," which it is. But he just needed to charge his. Of course, when you sleep like that, probably wears the thing down more. The amount, like I said, the amount of data out of this, sleep data, recovery data, activity data is next level. Just announced the partnership with UFC. I mean, I keep seeing these news articles about Daniel Cormier, who actually, basically diagnosed himself or saw COVID coming on. Here's one of the most iconic fighters in the UFC. I'm actively involved in this company, so I know there are other partnerships in the works, which will be great, as there should be, because it is the best in class. Head on over to OURAring.com, OURA ring.com. Today's show also brought to you by Roca. Hello. The Silver Fox still has, and this is where I really hope people are watching the show, because when I look at myself, I say to myself, damn. How you doing?
There's another shirt. Self. Damn.
No, I say to myself, there's that old comedian that used to have that whole thing. Anyways, these guys are amazing, right? And one thing I haven't touched on when it comes to Roca is they've got this whole gecko grip system. So nobody wants to wear shades. And the great thing about the titanium aviators is they're actually made for sport. So you could go out and run, play golf. They don't move. This will...
Check them out.
Yeah,
They're super light and they stay on.
hang on, don't put them on though, George. Oh shit!
How you doing?
I just got outdone. Look at this guy.
How you doing?
This fucker looks like he's out of Scarface. Are you kidding me right now? Started by badass athletes, 4 badass athletes out of Austin, Texas. We've seen it prominent and prevalent in this tour, the new Matador that they debuted right before with Justin Williams, right before the tour is out front and center. But head on over to Roca, ROKA.com. 20% off your first purchase, whether it's the titanium aviators or whether it's the Matadors or even the previous shade is also badass. 20% off. The buy code, checkout code is THEMOVE. 20% off. Today's show also brought to you by Hammerhead. This is we premiered the Karoo 2, so they've had the Karoo 1, which is completely sold out, and they've now released the Karoo 2. This is next level. We were looking actually this morning at a bunch of other head units. It's just, remember that one we were looking at, the mapping feature? That mapping feature was like Web 1.0.
It was.
This is Web like 7.0.
Yeah.
Incredible. 40% smaller, 40% lighter. Head on over to hammerhead.io, place your order, and get in line. Just a full disclosure, the initial batch sold out in 2 hours. They got a big batch right on the heels of this one. It isn't just going to be a hardware device. There's so many things that are going to be integrated into the Hammerhead. Really, really proud of Pete and his team. Actually, they were just here in Aspen giving us the new unit and talking to the whole team.
And hopefully Ross is doing better or has
true. Their CMO. We took a big group out mountain biking. Old Ross. There may be at that one trail that we were going down Deadline. There may be one. He's a professional triathlete. There maybe should be a sign that says no triathletes. So that means Richie Porte can't go down. But Ross, we're thinking about you. I think you're feeling better. I've broken a couple vertebrae in my neck before. There's nothing you can do.
Yeah.
You just got to lay around and take time. So
Yeah,
hang in there, Ross. Head on over to hammerhead.io/ride for more. Also, last thing, sign up to win. They're giving away 3 of the new Karoo 2s, and you don't have to wait for those. Get them right away.
Nice.
So today's day, I mean, there is actually a lot to talk about. I think the headline of this is some sort of salvaging of this tour for Team Ineos. I mean, you can't. We all know that they're going to leave here, regardless of today, being really disappointed. There's a team that has the biggest budget in the sport, the best riders in the sport, made some critical and controversial decisions before this tour, leaving out Chris Froome and Geraint Thomas, and it hadn't worked for them. But today, a
stage win
and just dominance, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that was an emphatic performance. So you got to give them that.
I mean, the video of them coming into the line, the overhead shot, there's no better view than that. Just 2 teammates being able to beat the whole group, the whole peloton, and clearly with that plan in mind, it was just an awesome day.
Yeah, we'll jump right into that. And for those we do have a lot of listeners and viewers who haven't even seen the stage. So, Carapaz and Kwiatkowski in a break crossed the line together.
Yep.
Literally shaking hands, crossing the line, which is a fun thing to talk about because they still have to pick a winner.
Yeah.
Well, that was easy because Kwiatkowski's wheel. Clearly, there had been the discussion or the order from the team car, but he was in front of Carapaz, so it wasn't. Mm-hmm. I mean, I guess you could have gotten off your bike and been like, just inch the wheels up there.
But that was the big debate going through my head as they're coming in, all smiles, just coasting in. It's like, okay, who gets the win? What's the deal?
Well, George had some scoops on that, as he always does.
Well, we were kind of interested in the same thing. Who was going to win? Were they going to sprint for it? Bobby Julik, who's really close to that team, he sort of guessed that since Carapaz is getting the KOM jersey, that Kwiatkowski should get the stage win. But I didn't realize that it's still so close in the overall, and there is points on the line for the time trial. So, and most likely Pogačar is going to beat Carapaz. Right. So we're talking only 1 or 2 days in the PogaDots in exchange for a stage win of the Tour de France. Not so nice.
It'd be fun to know if they even, because if you're the team director and you're just trying to negotiate this peace settlement, but for sure they were both going in their heads making their own argument, like, well, I should win because I would be the first Ecuadorian to win a stage in the Tour de France. And Kwiatkowski's going, but I've never won a stage in the Tour de France, so I want to win. And, somebody has to, compromise was, you win the stage, Carapaz, you get the polka dot jersey, but I guarantee you they weren't going, oh, shit, the second to last stage, there's an uphill time trial and there's points there and you're going to lose. He's only ahead by 2 points. And what's even more alarming is that I am actually talking about the polka dot jersey in a passionate way.
Right.
Like, we finally now have an actual climber in the jersey who's at the front of the race, the tip of the spear. Now I'm green light. I can talk about this.
No doubt, it's exciting. At the same time, Kwiatkowski looked like he was doing most of the work with the intention of getting all the points for Carapaz. So in that sense, perhaps it was the right decision to just give him the stage win. But it was just for them to come onto the line together like that, it was pretty awesome. And we actually experienced something very similar in the 2005 Dauphine, where myself and Popovic were away most of the day.
Look at this.
Here you have this, but it was a much different situation because Johan was like,
give us the blow by blow.
This was kind of funny.
This went down.
So Popovic and I, it was a really, really tough circuit at the finish. I think we had to do 5 or 6 laps of this 2 or 3K super steep climb. We ended up staying away, and the last lap, Johan's like, y'all just figured it out. And I'm like, oh, hell no, I'm not giving this shit away. I've been working way too hard for this team for way too long, and I'm sprinting. And I'm going to win this thing.
But again, how did it go down with you and Popovic? Did you
I'd
say we're sprinting, or you just went?
I said, I love you, bro, but G needs this win.
Dude, I didn't know any of this.
Oh, yeah, I needed that win. So I said, we'll see you in the douches.
Wow.
Literally in the bus, in the douches.
And how was it afterwards?
He was a little disappointed because he was actually stronger than me that day. I was in the breakaway longer. He bridged up to me. But,
did he talk to you at the dinner table?
Yeah. I mean, we were, and actually Lance got 3rd that day. So it was like a pretty amazing performance by the team heading into the Tour de France 3 weeks later.
Right. Wow, I didn't know that. I did not know that story. That was awesome. Other big headlines today, and I think we can all look. I mean, to me, Roglic he's 57 seconds up. I think he's got this, save for, because we did hear yesterday that he is going to do a bike change. That always worries me. But now this competition for the third podium spot, and I should also say I think Pogačar keeps second at least. But now it's anybody's game for third, and we saw Rigoberto Uran lose 2.5 minutes to the favorites today. Clearly not his day.
Yeah, I think he actually lost more time, or was it?
Well, he was 4 something down, behind the leader in the winners, but on the favorites 2.5, 240 down on the favorites.
I mean, we gotta still give Rigo some credit. I mean, the guy. I actually forgot about the crash he had in the Vuelta last year when Camilo and I went biking yesterday, where you blew us off and went for a swim instead of riding with us.
Yep.
Camilo was telling me, I mean,
true story.
Back in November, I mean, Rigo could barely get on his bike. I mean, so for his comeback to be fighting for the podium of the Tour, sure, he suffered today, but incredible comeback for him to be so strong and amongst the best in the Tour de France right now.
And then this, and I had also neglected to remember the whole gravel section at the top of the last categorized climb. I have always been a proponent of this. Gravel is a huge trend in cycling. The industry has now made bikes specific to gravel. The gravel events have blown up. They sell out in hours. And so the Tour is clearly trying to follow that trend. Don't blame them. Boy, but seeing this gravel, that to me wasn't gravel. Like gravel, in my head, when I think of gravel, is like little rocks, little pebbles.
Yeah.
Okay?
Like what's the trail here behind the creek?
Well, even maybe I'll go a little chunkier. That's like crushed granite. Now we're starting to.
I know there's a lot of levels of.
It's and it's been a long tour. When you're now we're talking about what kind of we're breaking down crushed granite or pebbles.
Well,
or
I thought you
gravel.
had a great idea. Like you said, gravel is the new thing. It's exploding here in the United States. Lance over here has created a level of gravels. You have 1-star gravel, 2-star, 3-star. Yeah. We thought today was probably 4 or 5-ish.
Yeah.
Meaning that it was rockier, it was rougher, which my event in March is going to be a 5-star gravel event. Very, very technical, very rough.
But wait, let's go back. I thought you liked gravel sections popping up in the Tour. Is it because of where it's placed?
I just didn't. We're at the very end of the Tour. These guys have worked too hard to get to where they are. If that would have happened to Roglic and he doesn't get a wheel change or a bike change in time, and you could lose the Tour. I mean, that's too much. I mean,
well, we saw
again. We're splitting hairs here because if it was just gravel or just a dirt road, I've been like, all right, but that was rocky. Yeah. And you saw Richie Porte get a front flat and stay, keep riding, which hats off to him.
Well, we were very surprised that he didn't have support. I mean, we think back in the day with Dirk de Mol and Johan Brunel, we would have had probably 2 people there, one at the start, sort of in the middle, and one at the end. In case you flatted or one of our top guys flatted, we would not have had to have waited for the team car. We would have gotten a wheel.
This is the same conversation we've had with like Flanders, Roubaix, especially, where there's staff members there with wheels
or a bike.
Yeah,
or
I don't know how the rules work, but if Richie Porte's your team leader, fuck the wheel. You still got to do the drill thing. Have his spare bike or a spare bike that he can ride is only 20 kilometers to the finish. But you saw a lot of the other teams there represented. And guys and gals, when you're watching these things, you can always see and it's mostly a soigneur because the mechanics are busy in the team cars. There's the guy holding up the wheel. If you go back and look at the helicopter shot, you saw all these teams that had that, but he had to wait for his team car. Now, he did get back, but he was stressing.
How many matches did he burn coming back? I mean, that was a huge effort with every ounce of energy is counting right now with such a big day coming up on Saturday.
Yeah.
And Porte has been looking good the last few days.
Totally.
He's coming into form at the end.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. If he doesn't come back, and by the way, he came back because I don't know what the fuck he told Jumbo-Visma or what they're getting for Christmas. or whatever birthday is coming up, but for those 2 guys to basically he was pulling, but they pulled him back up. I was like, what are they doing?
Well, they're not too concerned about Porte taking Roglic's spot in the overall. So I think they were more interested in Wout van Aert taking that bonus sprint from Pogačar, and actually he ended up getting dropped, but he came back. The guy's unbelievable. Which now we got to start talking. Okay, we have a lot more to talk about at the Tour de France, but now we got to start talking about the favorites for the World Championships coming up in 10 days. I mean, Wout van Aert, all these guys that are on the upswing: Carapaz, Wout van Aert, Kwiatkowski, these are the guys that are going to be most likely at the front at the finish of the World Championships. 5,000 meters of climbing. We got a lot of racing left to go, y'all.
The winner of the World Championships is not coming out of this Tour de France. It's you know this.
Whoa.
Not. It's
it won't be fresh enough, right?
It's a week or so after. You know what it's like a week after. The body is shut down.
Give me the boom. You're about to get boomed because I'm very
the boomstick
adamant about the fact that the guys that are on the upswing right now at the Tour de France, they'll be recovered.
Give me the boom back because I got a boom later.
Someone's booming in a bit.
So
those names that I mentioned, they will be big players at the Worlds.
Okay, hear me out. Right, it's not as if this isn't your normal tour when the tour is going on and there's probably some goofy race in like Azerbaijan, right? Mm-hmm. This is there's also, there's Tour of Luxembourg is going on. Tirrenos, these guys are not sitting at home. They're racing. I'm telling you, the winner of the World Championships is going to come out of one of those races, not the Tour.
Speaking of other races, Dion Smith, ex-Hincapie team rider, just won the Cobra 17 in Italy, which we've done before. It's a really hard, huge race. Young rider, loved seeing that. Great job, Dion.
Yeah, Italian semi-classic. That's a big win.
So who's not at the Tour that you think is a world's favorite?
MVP.
He's not racing.
Like I said, I don't know anything about this sport. I don't know.
And what's that course favorite?
It's hard, and it's just
Very
a weird
hard.
year. So we're not.
Are you sticking to your guns that somebody from the Tour will not be up there?
I am sticking to my guns on that.
All right.
Yeah.
Stay tuned, y'all.
Faux show. What else stuck out today? Let's check our notes here.
Well, your heavy interest in the polka dot jersey. It's
fine. It's finally with a climber, you know,
and going down to the wire. Like you said, the time trial is going to be a very deciding factor in who gets to wear it at the Champs-Élysées.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's talk about tomorrow. But before we do that, today's show also brought to you by PowerDot. We talk about it every day, and I actually use it every day. This is no BS. I love this company, love the team, love the technology. We made an investment in this company over at Next Ventures a long time ago and continued to support them. It's a game changer, man. It fits right into my fanny pack. And somebody hit me up on one of the socials yesterday, and because you said yesterday they were what'd they call it?
Bum bag was one. That
somebody suggested it's granny pack. Okay, that's, I've taken a lot of shit for the last 3 weeks about the fanny pack, but to hit me directly and say it's a granny pack. I got a birthday tomorrow, FYI, 49. That's not, I feel 29, but to say granny pack? Anyways, the PowerDot will actually fit into my granny pack. And by the way, if you don't like it, 30-day money-back guarantee, but I'm guaranteeing you're going to love it. 20% off if you head over to powerdot.com/themove. Checkout code is THEMOVE. Also doing great things for others, donating meals to Feeding San Diego where they're based and Feeding America during these crazy, weird times. Last one, today's show also brought to you by Ventum. Head on over to ventumracing.com/themove to register, okay, to win a free bike, right? Remember, in Plano, baby, we grew up cheap is neat, free is for me. This is free. ventumracing.com/themove. Also about to release their new gravel bike, which I am going to go ride on today. So we'll be posting some pictures on the socials. This thing's pretty sick, I got to say. The NS1, the road bike, is a total rocket ship. So y'all head on over to ventumracing.com/themove. Register to win a free bike or get a rocket ship. Take your choice. What about tomorrow?
Well, I do think we need to discuss a little bit of the winners and losers for today. Obviously, you mentioned Uran. That's a big blow for the team. EF was really hoping for that podium finish. Adam Yates, I thought he was kind of on the upswing today. He lost more time and sort of out of the race for the podium now as well. But then Landa, I was very impressed after what happened yesterday, putting the whole team on the front, still up there attacking, being really aggressive, still fighting to the last minute for the podium. I love to see that. Richie Porte, super bad luck at a really, really tough time, was able to hang in there and come back. So the race for the podium is far from over. Lopez did not do anything. He kind of just sat there. So perhaps he's kind of just saving energy for the time trial now.
And that was a surprise based on, that was his, but a day after, like a day like yesterday, obviously physically very hard, emotionally too, just people get emotionally down and then they can get emotionally, highs and lows, right? So you can get too high. There's always just this kind of a fallout from that, but
And we can't forget about Enric Mas, who's now creeping into the overall as well. 6th place in the overall, 4:19 down, not that far off the podium. Very good time trialist as well. Young rider, ton of pressure on him. Switched teams to represent, his home country team, being Movistar, and he's now back in the overall.
Yeah. In the green jersey.
Yep. Sam Bennett won this point sprint.
Looks like it's not going to happen.
Yeah. If they all got over today, obviously, Sagan was probably hoping that he didn't make the time cut or, lost a lot of that lead in the points, but he's still there fighting for it.
But it's over.
Yeah.
Right.
Most likely over.
Most likely over. Tomorrow we got a lumpy one.
Tomorrow's no easy day, that's for sure.
No, not too long, 166 kilometers.
Last chance for any of these teams that have not won a stage to win a stage tomorrow.
So what did they say on telly today? There had been 13 before today. There had been 13 teams that hadn't won a stage. Obviously, Ineos was one of them. So now there's been 12. So there's going to be a lot of almost half these teams going home empty-handed.
Which these directors are saying, if you are not in the breakaway, I don't even want to talk to you after this race. I mean, they're getting tonight's meeting or tomorrow morning in the bus. They're saying breakaway or die tomorrow for these teams that have not won. It's their only chance. They have a time trial on Saturday and then the Champs-Élysées on Sunday.
Tomorrow
this is the last chance.
They need a perfect breakaway with no one that has any skin in the game for the GC, but all those teams in it.
Well, that's pretty much a given. Nobody that's close to the overall is going to even try in the beginning. But the teams that have not won a stage, they're going to be going crazy. Tomorrow's going to be a really tough day.
And you want to hear some yelling? Watch that break of, call it 15, 20 guys go up the road. And, it's got a bunch of the teams that haven't won stages, but they're going to be one or two that just miss it. And their directors are going to be going crazy.
Yep.
And
putting them on the front.
And they'll have to go to the front. They'll have to sit on the front like they're controlling the race or leading the race, and they'll have to pull it back. I mean,
a ton of pressure.
I mean, I don't really feel sorry for many guys in bike racing, but I would feel sorry for those guys.
Yeah, and tomorrow, after such hard mountain stages, back to back to back, I would be really shocked if the sprinter teams got together and actually tried to bring the breakaway back, just because, there's only so much these teams can do after such a hard effort the last couple of days.
So we did a fun thing yesterday. We Anna, my much, much, much better half, is launching a yoga platform, and so she wanted to like YouTube and eventually through an app. And she's an amazing yoga teacher, and I think she's the best one here in Aspen. She doesn't agree with me, but I agree. I agree with myself. I said to myself, I think she's the best. So she's launching this platform, Move with Anna. So she wanted to film a class with George and I yesterday. And so first, it was set. We were going to film this class at 4:30, and I posted it up on my Instagram yesterday. And at about 4:10, George says, "I think, can we pull it up?" First of all, I guess you go to my Insta to see it. But somebody has a small engine. He was asleep. He actually admits in the text that I just woke up. And I'm like, I had been working all day long. I knew exactly where I was supposed to be at 4:30, and homeboy was asleep.
Oh, he lives like a princess.
I took a little nap, not going to lie. I took a little nap. I'm trying to support our title sponsor, OURA, to get as much sleep as possible and be able to show the benefits.
We do have a good shot of George in yoga class, though. This is... Now... Folks,
I was
hoping
you would have used a different picture.
I know, but it really helps to watch this, but I'll just try to lay it out for you. So here's George doing, and I don't know any of the names of how yoga works or the names of these stretches or moves or whatever. I know down dog and I know like child's pose. I love child's pose. Here's George doing one of these poses. Now, it doesn't look bad, but for those listening at home, there's one thing that jumps out at me here. All right, look at the man, right? He's, and I'll just back up a second. When you first got here, George, because I haven't shaved my legs in probably 10 years. And because I don't need to. I'm not a professional athlete. I'm not a professional cyclist. I'm not doing tries. I'm not trying to win. I'm just out here pedaling around. I got hairy legs. And when George showed up, he had hairy legs. And I thought, oh, thank God. Because he used to shave. I was like, finally, he's just going to be a normal person and not shave his legs. Mm-hmm. A couple of days ago, we're out on a ride. I said, holy shit, this motherfucker shaved his legs. and go back to Kiggs. Can we go back to the picture? What? Like what happened? George, you are a 50-year-old guy that just pedals around with friends.
Not 50.
Did you, but hang on.
Well,
did you seriously just one day wake up and shave your legs here in Aspen?
I was going to try to get ready for the yoga pictures, I wanted to look shredded.
His wife's on his way here, and he probably started manscaping and kept going.
Oh, God. Folks, if you're 50 and you just ride with your friends and you don't really care, don't be like George. Just be like me. Don't shave your legs. It's all good. Sorry.
I deserve it.
All right, I think we have a few more slides, and we're going to get to some mail here, and there's a couple of really, really good ones.
There's some good pieces today, yeah.
I don't know what Higgs has queued up next, so I don't want to mess it up. Oh, there's the...
And this, hello, because we keep talking about porn, and actually we had George has all these fancy friends, so some of them came by last night, and we were sitting around the fire. I wanted to be in bed, but I had to keep opening wine for everybody, and we had this really amazing conversation about porn.
Oh, really?
And I was just like, and it was sort of one of these round tables, and I was like, man, I hope I got to get up real quick and go do something when it gets to be my turn. It was so uncomfortable.
It was. It's actually making me uncomfortable right now.
But here we got a Boogie Nights slide. And of course, I get to be Dirk Diggler, which is cool with me. Yes.
Who am I back there?
I don't know, but if I would, if I were you, I'd hope this slide moves on. What else? I mean, Joe Natale is on a rampage because he's got, oh no. So all these people are knocking off poor Joe with these slides. So he's got a warning for everybody. Natale knockoffs beware. I pity the fools who try and take my jersey. Well, actually, the more the merrier. Carry on, carry on. But it's the shot of course, in the We Do hoodie, the hacker, and of course the hacker with the clown face or whatever has the polka dots on his face. But Joe, this was good.
I put a special request in for Joe this morning. I'm hoping he can pull it off.
He's inspired a lot of people, right?
Yeah.
All right. And you have a surprise. Hold on to that because
I already said my surprise.
Oh, you already got all that.
The shaved leg thing. I thought that was
gotcha.
I thought that was a big boom.
Gotcha. This is really cool. So while Higgs pulls up this map, this is from Anne. She writes, I'm loving watching YouTube videos every morning for my 3rd year of Breakfast with Lance. Since Lance wasn't sure where Slovenia was, I made an interactive map.
I mean, it's amazing.
You can check it out here. So for our audio listeners, we'll try to describe this. It's literally you mouse over anywhere on a world map, and it has highlighted density of cyclists, red being the most, I guess.
No, the least.
The least.
Yeah, because America.
Orange
States
is the most.
So here's France. It's yellow or orange. It's 39 riders. And Higgs, scroll over to the U.S.
3.
Yeah, 3, obviously. Then go down to Colombia. So I don't even know where Colombia. There's Colombia. 10 riders.
But watch when you click it on. If he clicks it on, it pulls up all the Colombian riders' names down there on the left.
It does.
That is pretty impressive.
It'll switch to whatever country you mouse over. It clicks and shows you the riders from that country.
I mean, look at that. Yeah,
look.
Boom.
This is very helpful.
I mean, what is her name?
This is Ann Parthmore. We need this every year on WeDo.team.
Ann's on the team full time now. This is, because it does help with geography. I don't, or is it geometry? Which is the one where where places are?
Geography,
because it's just better. Look, I mean, South Africa, 2 riders.
Isn't that slick?
That cycling superpower of South Africa. Australia only 2. That's actually low for Australia.
We need this.
That is really low.
Yeah.
But they have a stage one.
We totally need this interactive map on it.
And you are on the team. Kazakhstan with 1 rider.
Wow.
Huh. But that took some work.
That is impressive.
Are we going to have access to that from now on?
Yeah, I'll send you the link.
We just put her on the team. So if Ann, you're on the team,
Ann Parthmore.
you have to provide this for us every year.
Out of Bellevue, Washington. Wow.
Damn. Impressive. See, that's where all those smart, she probably like some Microsoft propeller head that this is easy for her.
Oh, yeah.
That's where they are. There's all these smart people there.
That would take someone, if they had that idea, it would take months, and she just cranked it out.
She is amazing at geometry.
Some other comments. Let's see. Katerkin?
Whoa.
I can't pronounce this name. Katerkin. Imagine fighting for the top 5 and getting beaten not only by Roglic, but his helper. This team is stacked beyond everything.
Talking about Sepp Kuss?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, well, Sepp Kuss is not your normal helper. I don't think. I think we're going to see him develop into a legit GC threat in the next 2 to 3 years.
And he's in great position right now. The team is saving him for the last climber on the road ahead of Primo. So fortunately, he hasn't had to do much work before the last climbs, and he's just incredibly impressive.
How's his time trial game, George?
I'm not sure actually.
Good. Well, you know what? We'll see on.
We'll see if he goes for it too.
Yeah.
Sean writes, what do the boys miss most about their pro days?
Nothing. No, I you know what I don't miss a lot, but I don't miss the racing. I don't miss all the fans and adulation. Not to discredit or just dismiss that, but it was just my favorite part was training camp. I loved not just the winter training camp, but the camps and the preview camps before the tour, and you're just with a handful of guys, and it's just there's nobody there, and you've got these beautiful. You see where these guys get to ride every day, but if you go a month before, it's just peaceful and it's beautiful. That's the part I miss the most.
Wow, I missed the camaraderie in the team bus. Oh, wait, you were never in the team bus with us, were you? But no, that was probably one of the biggest things that I miss.
Right, because when you're in the yellow jersey, you have to wait around, and you got to do the thing, and then you got to go pee pee, and then. But I loved it in the bus. No, the bus is rad. Like the shit talk, the amount of stuff we used to say on the bus, folks. Oh, you thought that 3-hour UCI discussion was going to be long and interesting. We could do a 10-hour one on just all the shit we talked inside the bus.
Yeah,
it was great.
This is from Gonzalo. What can we expect in the time trial? Nearly 1 minute between Roglic and Pogačar. Do we still have a race? What is your expected top 5 on the time trial?
That's the question, because I don't know if I mentioned this earlier, but Alan Piper in his interview said we're not racing to preserve the second place in the overall. We're racing to win the overall, and he's saying anything can happen in the time trial. So they're not giving up, even though they haven't been able to make any gains in the last couple stages. I think this time trial in particular is such a technical time trial, with half of it being flat or more than half being flat, and then a really hard run into the finish. 6-kilometer climb, right, Lance?
Yep.
I mean, this is incredibly technical time trial.
With this big question of bike change or no bike change. I'm telling you, it's never that smooth.
So typically, I think you used to do some bike changes back in the day, and I think they had it down to about a 20, 25 second sort of loss once you change bikes.
Ouch.
But then you got to talk about losing momentum, what your legs feel like when you stop pedaling for that second. It's just a whole different sensation.
And just me being the weather weirdo that I am, so it's calling for sunny sky, partly cloudy skies, partly sunny. But Sunday is stormy. So I mean, that's a couple days away. If those storms move up, then we start to go,
Sunday storms would be good. Less fans on the Champs-Élysées, which I know is a big concern for the organizers and the government as well.
That's actually, yeah. There's already they're talking about putting plans in place, which would be weird. I mean, and it would be prudent, but it's going to be hard to pack in 1 million people. So Sunday in Paris, storms.
All right, this is a good email, and stick with me on this. It's a little lengthy, but worth it. Get your boomstick ready. Hey, Lance, JB, and George. Lance may remember this. Not sure if George will. During the 2014 Alpe d'Huez time trial, a spicy, fit redhead smacked your ass as you rode by.
Oh, I can feel it right now.
Then she ran or hiked up to the finish line, scaled a security fence, climbed up the back of the VIP bleachers, ran down through the VIPs, and jumped the fence while the gendarmerie stared at you, and she weaseled her way through the press, crowding you, and asked for your autograph. You said, "Sure, but I don't have a pen, lady." You then graciously borrowed one from the press and gave her an autograph. I watched in amazement. And now that girl, my wife Kathy, is fighting for her life with a rare form of lymphoma. You brought cancer out of the shadows and put a light on it that is still paying dividends through research and, in turn, successful treatments. So thank you. We are hoping and praying Kathy can beat this. Stay strong, live strong. With respect, Jim W. in Canada. Kathy could use a home run. How about giving her a boom?
Boom. Kathy strong. Boom strong. Right here. Oh. All right, Kathy. We're thinking about you. We're pulling for you. I do remember a beautiful redhead. You never forget a beautiful redhead smacking you in the ass. I mean, and if you do, you're weird. You got problems. But Kathy, hang in there. Damn it. I fucking hate cancer, as most people can relate to, and most people, obviously everybody does. But we're thinking about you and pulling for you, and you got the boom stick of the day.
There you go. We'll wrap it up. You can send your questions and comments for the last 2 days. TheMOVE at wedo.team.
We're getting down there.
I think tomorrow is going to be too hard to make predictions. It's going to be, whoever makes that breakaway. I don't even think I can pick a name right now for tomorrow's stage win.
One thing that we should add is the Johan's daily show, both of his daily shows, and we should told this a couple days ago since we knew this, but he had a previous family commitment, so there will be no Johan show following this and no La Movida with him and Victor Hugo. So just FYI, don't go looking around, and hopefully he'll be back tomorrow. So, yeah. Guys, I'm getting tired. I'm ready for. This tour's wearing me out. It's a tough tour. I'm going to hibernate for a week after this.
Take some time. Well, it's
because I don't nap every day like somebody else.
And we'll talk more about it on Sunday as we wrap up. But yeah, we were glancing at the remaining fall schedule. It's ridiculous.
It's crazy. Yeah. And gosh, Milan San Remo next year is not that far. Are we going to be dealing with this again in 2021?
We sure hope not.
But anyways, let's not go there right now. Yeah. Thanks for tuning in. We'll talk to y'all tomorrow. And vamos.
See you guys tomorrow.
Vamos.
Vamos.